This Business Newsmakers is brought to you by Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. There's a reason people live here. There's a reason people bank here.
Hey everyone, Frank DeRaffele here, and welcome to this week's Business Newsmakers. I'm here this week with Katie Ferris, who is the owner of Zoe's Ice Cream Barn, which is a fantastic ice cream place over towards Arlington High School. And I wanted to get her story today because it's pretty unique, different, something I think you'll enjoy. And Zoe, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's kind of start out with today. I love to start with kind of someone's background. I know you're from the area, so tell us kind of where you're from, you grew up, kind of your family background.
Sure. So I grew up in the town of Beekman. I'm a graduate of Arlington High School. My dad was a farmer, so I grew up raising lamb in Dutchess County 4-H, which turned into now I'm currently a 4-H leader in the Dutchess County 4-H. I am a graduate of Arlington, then I went to the Culinary Institute of America, where I have an associate's in baking and pastry arts and a bachelor's in hospitality management. I kind of came, I didn't go to the culinary knowing I was going to go into ice cream. I knew I wanted to bake and own my own business sort of thing. Out of college, it led me to Henshin's Old Farmhouse in Pawling, New York, which had made ice cream since the 1920s. And I learned the trade there before opening my own store.
Wow. So let's go back for a second to 4-H, because that always amazed me. I'm a Westchester kid, so I didn't even know what 4-H was. And then I married a girl from Wyoming, and then I met my nieces and step-nieces and nephews. They were involved in 4-H, and I was like, what's that? So and I realized what a big thing it is here. So you're now a 4-H leader, got involved in all that. So when you were coming up through it, is there competitions you go to or something? Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, so I'm involved in the ag part of it with the sheep club. So you would raise your animal as a project, and then you can just do it on the county level, so go to the Dutchess County Fair, and then normally as you get older it springs into something bigger and you go to regional and national shows as well.
I think that's really exciting, because that kind of, I think, is a direct connection to what you're doing now because of the natural part of what you're doing, and I think people will learn more about that in a second. So then now you go to the culinary, did you have something in mind when you went there, like, I'm going to go there and I want to become a chef of a restaurant or a baker? Like, what was your goal?
I knew I wanted to own my own business, but I didn't know what that wanted to be. When it came time to take my externship, I actually did the opposite, and I went to a very large 5-star, 5-diamond hotel out in Colorado to just experience that side of the spectrum, and it confirmed that I want to do a small mom and pop, kind of stay local sort of thing. And
so you went to a big place and it convinced you, I don't want a big place.
Exactly.
Okay, so now you get out, you have that experience, you come back. How do you transition from that to let's open an ice cream place?
Sure. So I kind of fell into place where I started working at Henshin's, and I eventually just went from somebody scooping ice cream to becoming a manager to then learning how to make the ice cream. And it kind of all ties back into supporting local dairies, the farming aspect, knowing where your product comes from, and the wholesome homemade ingredients.
Well, I think that's the real key here of this story. Tell everyone about your ice cream, how you go about making it, what makes it different than anything else in the area.
Sure. So it's all made with 100% Hudson Valley fresh dairy products, which is a local 10 dairy farm co-op in Dutchess, Columbia, and Ulster counties. And so they pride themselves on 36 hours from farm to store. So we're kind of the same thing, from cow to cone in 3 days. So we get, the milk is sent to Boyce Dairy in Kingston, where it's pasteurized and processed, and then we get our delivery, and they make our ice cream base for us. And then I add the flavorings, the mixings, and churn the ice cream.
So give me your unbiased opinion of, I know it's going to be hard, right? You have this extremely fresh ice cream now, because in the 3-day process, compared if we go to somewhere else, if it's Carvel or if it's a Cold Stone, like what do you see as the real difference?
Well, there's no preservatives, and I also don't add any artificial coloring. So my mint chocolate chip isn't green, it's white, because mint isn't green necessarily. And same, just the fresh, you can taste, it's just pure. It's a lot more pure.
So I'll give you a quick testimonial. I got a little bit guilty here. I'm a big ice cream fanatic. Like, I consider myself an ice cream connoisseur. And I went there to your place over the summer. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Let's go here after we did the story. And it was really good.
Thank you.
And I know ice cream. It was really good.
Thank
you. I was like, oh my gosh, we have to go. And plus the whole atmosphere is really fantastic there in doing that. So how are you finding the business is going so far? And tell us more about that.
It was a crazy summer. We anticipated being busy, but not quite as busy as we were. And then once we got through that, we this fall experimented with flavors, added some seasonal flavors and things like that. We even had corn ice cream from corn from our farm. different things like that. And we've also added burgers and fries. So we're doing local beef burgers with JSK Cattle Company, fries, hot dogs, food. We added that this fall to kind of hold us over for the winter, and it's going well.
So starting a business is always difficult, and it's usually you doing all the work. But how many people do you have there at Zoe's now? How many people do you employ?
Over the summer, I had 18 to 20 employees. So they were all part-time. I do have one mostly full-time manager and cake decorator, somebody who does all my cakes for me. But otherwise, it's all part-time. A lot of help, a lot of hours, being open 7 days a week.
So how do you come up with new flavors of ice cream? How do those ideas come about?
90% it's somebody gives an idea and we go for it. You know, try something different.
That's a very dangerous thing to say to me, because I'm going to have a list now. Okay, what are my favorite type of things that I can do?
Put them all together. Yeah, absolutely.
Be like a weekly thing for me you'll be getting now.
Yeah.
So if people wanted to find out more about you, about Zoe's Ice Cream Barn, where you're located, that type of thing, do you have a website, phone number? What can they do?
We have zoesicecreambarn.com. We also were on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our phone number is 845-454-7801.
Well, look, I really want to thank you for coming on the show, because I think this is a great story. The fact that, well, first of all, kind of local girl done good, right? And I just think the fact of using everything natural is really powerful for people to know, and that's kind of where everything's going today. So I think you're ahead of the curve on that. So here's what we're going to end with. Sure. Why Zoe? Where did you get the name Zoe from when your name's Katie? Where'd that come from?
Well, I'm in business with my dad. He's, you know, the business side helping me out. And when my parents got married, I'm the youngest of 5. And they decided my dad would name the boys, my mom would name the girls. But I only have 1 brother and 4 sisters. So when I came about, my dad really wanted to name me Zoe, but my mom stuck to it and named me Katie. But Zoe, it held the whole time. And since this is kind of our thing together, we named it after that.
And you're the baby of the family?
I'm the baby.
So I'm going to tell you what I think the real story is. I don't think that's the real story. I think the real story is when they had you, they were like, we're having no more, and we're naming her with a Z, and that's it. We can't go any further.
There you go. I haven't heard that one before.
Could be it. Well, Katie, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, guys, if you want to know more about Zoe's Ice Cream Barn, go to the website, give them a call. It's near Arlington High School, literally right down the road. It's fantastic. I've been there, and we got to support our local farmers, and we got to support our local patrons. So this is Frank DeRaffele. We'll see you next week on Business Newsmakers.